Closer, closer, closer. Oh my God, hi. Hi, everybody. It's me, the infamous Kiki. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. I'm trying to adjust my camera, y'all. Me and my camera, we be fighting. We be having all kinds of like fisticuffs and fights. Welcome to my channel. Hey, everybody. This is live and lit. Welcome. I know you guys are probably gonna watch. A lot of you guys are gonna watch this on the rewatch, and that's fine. That's fine. I hope you guys can hear me. Uh, on my channel, we talk about all various topics. We're gonna talk about catfishing, and we're also gonna talk about a new channel that I discovered called Catfish Online. Now, some of you guys may not know this channel. I just discovered this channel, and I've been binge watching. So we're going to talk about a few things. First of all, let me apologize if my internet connection is not the best because, I'm in the country and we know how it goes. But we're going to talk about catfishing, what it is, what it ain't. We're going to talk about Catfish Online, the YouTube channel, what it is, why you should be watching, why have I been binge watching all weekend, and I have not done anything else, y'all. I've like literally been binge watching this show, and I have not done anything else. And I apologize, but when your girl get to binge watching, it's a wrap. I'm gonna tell you the story briefly about my mother, and we're gonna talk about what I've learned, what I don't learn. I did do a video a couple of months ago about internet scammers and catfishing and things like that, where I briefly told my mother's story, but I'm going to get into it a little bit deeply. Also, we're just going to talk. I got notes, y'all. So I try not to make this video too long, but I got notes. So we're gonna get into it. Like I said, this Catfish Online website is affiliated with a website called Social Catfish. Social Catfish is a website where you can put in people's videos, pictures, chats, and figure out whether they're online scammer or not. Again, I did a video about online scamming. I'm going to put links to the video in the description, and then at the end of the video, a little video box will pop up referencing that video, and you can go check it out. So what is catfishing? What is catfishing and scamming? What is the difference? So let's start out with that. Catfishing, the difference between catfishing and scamming is this. Catfishing is when somebody may put up fake pictures, or they may kittenfish. Kittenfish basically means somebody that has pictures of themselves when they're younger. But catfish is when somebody posts up fake pictures they may have stole from the internet, pictures of their cousin, just pictures of whoever, whatever, that's not them, okay? And then they talk to you, and they may embellish certain ideas about their life, about their job, about their history, or they may tell the truth, but they're really just trying to hide what they look like, because they figure that what they look like is not what they feel is good enough to be online. So they feel like they have to kind of lie to you about what they look like. But everything else, their feelings, and they're talking to you, it may or may not, it may be real. They are not trying to scam you out of money. A scammer, everything from top to bottom is a lie. So the pictures are a lie. Their social media is a lie. The conversation they're having you with a lie. Scammers are most of the time talking to multiple people on multiple dating apps or multiple social media sites. That's the difference of scammer. And they eventually are leading up to lying to you, telling you what you want to hear to try to get you out of some money. So it starts out with them love bombing you really, really quickly, jumping into a relationship very quickly. But the goal is for them to get money. So catfish is just deception, but they may have genuine feelings for you. They may like you. They may have been up and up, but they're not going to ask you for money. A scammer, an internet scammer, is trying to hustle you out of money. And they usually have a network of people trying to hustle you out of money. So therein lies the difference. So what we're going to talk about is my experience, and we're going to talk about my mother. My mother was talking to a dude online from Africa. My mother, of course, was 60 something years old. She was talking to a dude from Africa. He was half her age, supposedly, and she talked to this dude off and on for about a couple years. I don't know whether she sent the dude money. I don't know what it was about, but she was convinced that she was in a relationship. She posted this man on social media. She told my kids about this man. She had a ring and saying that they were going to get married. All the nine, all the nine, all to the nines. And this person was, but she knew this dude was in Africa. It's not like she was talking to this dude thinking he was from America or France or anything like that. So she really was talking to this dude thinking that she was going to marry this dude. She never met this dude. My mother's passed away. May she rest in peace. And really, she told one of my friends that she was just doing this just for just because she was bored. So she knew that this wasn't real. She knew on some level. I don't think she was sending this man money, but she was doing it. Like I said, the insight was a fantasy thing. I thought it was dangerous. I thought it was stupid. I mean, they're posting pictures and stuff online saying, I love you, going back and forth. I thought it was dumb and senseless and stupid. That's me. Okay. Results may vary. Some of y'all may think that y'all may kiki and caw and think that's cute. I did not think it was cute. Because I didn't want anybody from, Nigeria knowing her information and what they may or may not have been doing with it. I don't know. But I just thought it was asinine and stupid. But I told her, as long as she's not sending this dude no money, if y'all want to be in a fake relationship, then you go ahead, you do you. Okay, that's how I feel. You do you. I'm not into fake relationships. I'm into real relationships. So, but my mother, she didn't get out and go nowhere. She could have easily got on an internet. She met this dude through Facebook. She could have easily hopped on an internet dating website and met some dudes locally. But I've learned from watching this show from the inside looking out, as a perspective of a child with somebody who's doing this, that a lot of times these people, even watching Catfish online, these people don't want the truth. Like they a lot of these, especially when they get older, they don't want the truth. They don't want they want to live in some sort of fantasy. They don't want to work at going actually and finding someone. And like I said, may my mother rest in peace, but I have to speak candid with y'all and be honest. My mother did not want to go out and find somebody. She did not want to work and go online and find somebody in her neighborhood. And actually it was easier for her to sit around and sit and talk to this person on the phone and do video chat and talk to this person through Facebook. It was easier for her to do it that way. And like I said, I think my mother wasn't stupid. She wasn't sending this person money. I don't think, God knows. She was hip to the game. And so I think that she did this basically because she was bored. She was lonely. She needed someone to talk to. She needed someone to talk sweet to her and nice to her. But I think my mother was hip to the game and she knew what it was. She knew what it was. So she wasn't like one of these people that was like, oh, we're going to move off to Africa together and we're going to live in a hut somewhere and Uzbekistan. She knew what it was. So I could say that for my mother for sure that, she wasn't living in that much of a la fantasy land. It was just a way as to why she didn't want a real relationship. I don't know. I never asked her. I never really, got that deep off into it because I just thought it was just a phone, an internet kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was a way for her to pass the time. Okay. So, but like I said, if my mother was sending this dude money and all this other stuff, I would be like, no. And then for her talking to somebody that was supposedly 25 years younger than her, more than 25, I thought it was weird. But again, like I said, the psychology of, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze my mother, but the psychology of my mother was, back in the day, my mom was that girl. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, my mom was that girl. Like she was she and her sisters were, they got a lot of guys. She always had a lot of guys around her. So back in the day, my mother was a good looking woman. She was a go-getter. She was outgoing and friendly and she got a lot of guys. She had been married several times. My mother was married like, I think 2 or 3 times throughout her life. And she had used to having attention of men. And then as she got older, she got to the point where her health, kind of deteriorated, but she still could have went out and talked to people. But I just, I don't think, she just got to the point in her life where she didn't really want to go anywhere, do anything. And that happens with a lot of older people. And so that's why I can explain it. The only way I can explain it to you, coming from my opinion. I can't ask her again. My mother's passed away. So I don't know what to tell you, the psychology behind that, but I can tell you it pissed me off. I was angry about it because, I don't believe in none of that. I can't see why. My mother was very level-headed, straight-headed. She wasn't a dumb person. She wasn't a gullible person, but she wanted to believe in the fantasy out of, uh, I guess, out of loneliness. That's the only thing I can speak on. But like I said, I can't speak to her motivations because I'm not her, and I'm not here. She's not around for me to ask. So I can sit there and say that. So let's talk about Catfish Online. For those of you who watch, who don't know what Catfish Online or Catfish is a YouTube channel, and I found it by accident. It showed up in my recommendations. I forgot what I was looking at, but somehow I was like, okay, so I watched one video, and then I watched another video, and I've been binge watching. So sorry about these people. I'm supposed to do a love after lockup, love during lockup live. I've been binge watching this, and so I've gotten really interested in this show, and I've watched tons of episodes and told a few people about it. So I thank you, Cat. I'm not affiliated anyway with Catfish Online. They are also affiliated with a website called socialcatfish.com. Socialcatfish.com is a website that people can use to put in pictures. It'll show you where the picture's been used online, because catfishers use fake accounts. Also, you can put in chats because the catfishers, they run on a script a lot of times. And so Social Catfish is a website that I think that everybody should use if you're trying to online date, if you're into online dating, if you're trying to discover whether somebody's fake or false. I think it's a website. Like I said, I'm not affiliated by them. I'm not endorsed by them. I nothing. All I know is that I watch Catfish Online, and I've been watching a lot of the episodes. I've watched a lot of episodes. I've been binge watching for over 24 hours. And if you have not checked out the website, I'm going to give some links in the description whenever I get through with this video. And so you too can go on Catfish Online and watch if you would like. Also, make sure you thumbs up, like the video, share, subscribe this video. Tell everybody out there. The last time I did a video about online scams. I got a lot of views and a lot of feedback of people in the comments talking about their loved ones and family and friends, or themselves being scammed by scammers online. And so that was pretty interesting, that this happens a lot. So we're going to talk about the different types of scams online. Again, I did a video about this, but I really didn't get into it because I've learned a lot. There are all kinds of scams, dozens and dozens, but there's really 4 that are very popular. There's a scam called pig butchering. Now, pig butchering, I know that sounds violent. Pig butchering is a term that was coined in Southeast Asia. And it's a term where these people fatten you up. They love bomb you. They say how much they love you. They want to be with you. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, a crisis happens. Oh my God, all of a sudden, like, oh my God, babe, honey, sweetie, I'm in an emergency. I'm stranded in another country. Or I lost my wallet. My wallet was stolen. My purse was stolen. I was in an accident. All of a sudden, some type of accident or some type of emergency happens, and they need to borrow some money. And most of the time when they start out, the money is small. They ain't gonna come off asking about $4,000-$5,000. They're gonna ask for $50, $100, $25. So it throws people off, they game, because they're like, oh, okay, well, I got $25, I got $100 to send. And then they've love bombed you. They told you you're the most beautiful man, woman in the world, on earth, on the planet. You're a queen, you're a king. These are terms that they use to try to win you over and win your trust. They tell you the most wonderful person ever. Sometimes they use religion, because these scammers are everywhere. They're on Christian Mingle. They're on all kinds of websites. So if you talk about you love the Lord and you love God and you love Jesus, they be like, well, I love Lord, I love God, Jesus too. And our holy union is mandated by God. God brought you to me. You know what I'm saying? So this is just the type of love language. They love bomb you. So they fatten you up like a pig. They fatten you up. That's why they call it pig butchering, where they lean into you, love you up, fatten you up, rub you up, and then offer you to the slaughter. So, and this happens, that, like I said, that term is from Southeast Asia. So, then there's money mules. Okay. The money mule is basically someone's coming to you saying, I have an investment, or I have an investor, or I'm stuck in a foreign country and I need the money, move money to your account, or I need you to open an account or open a crypto account. And I need to move this money from my account, my investor's account, or my business account over to your account. Okay. This is a soju kind of night. Happy soju. Soju. Korean drink, by the way. But these people will tell you that I need to deposit money into your account. And a lot of times it's a large sum of money. Being a money mule, and they'll do this over and over and over again. They'll ask you for your bank account numbers, or sometimes they'll just ask you to open a separate account. Being a money mule, I used to work in the banking industry. If you do enough of this, your account will get flagged by the bank, by the fraud department, because this happens a lot. And it's like I said, they call it being a money mule, because you're basically you're laundering money. People have gotten arrested who are victim of love scammers because they're unwittingly been victims and money mules. And so they will get arrested, they will go to court, and they have to prove that somehow they didn't know that they were part of the scam. So I tell people, if anybody's asking you to put money in a crypto account, or you opening up a separate bank account, or they want you to open an account, don't do it. It is illegal. A lot of people do not know this. A lot of people do not understand that bank accounts will shut down your account, close your account, and then they will report you. They will report you, and then you will get put on a list. You'll see this on CatfishedOnline on their YouTube channel. But what people don't know behind the scenes, for somebody who worked at a bank, I can tell you, they will flag your account. They will report it if it's a significant amount of money. And then if you go open up another account somewhere else and start doing this, they will flag your name and your social security number. The FBI will be investigating you. They will. They will flag. They may not tell you this. The bank may be like, oh, we're closing your account, because you will get added to a list. So anytime you try to open an account with a FDIC secured account, if you get on a list, the account may be open, but they will close it right afterwards, because you have been flagged. And if you keep doing these type of transactions, them boys, them alphabet boys, will be knocking on your door. The feds will contact you. They will come to your house and question you about what's going on. So I tell people, y'all can play if y'all want to by moving this money around for your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever. But if you keep doing it enough, yes, the bank will report you. That is part and partial working in the fraud department at a bank. They will report you. Your social security number will get flagged. You will go into a database as possibly being linked to scamming. So I tell women and men here that y'all think it's innocent. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could think it's, but then again, people don't know how banks work. But yes, you cannot be money laundering. That's money laundering. And money laundering, people launder money because they're doing activities. Sometimes the activities is just by scamming and selling things. Sometimes the activity is really tied to like organized crime in other countries, organizations that are on watch lists by the government. You don't know where that money is going through, because there's a lot of criminal underworld and organizations worldwide that get their money in various ways. And one of the ways that they get it is through online scamming. So crypto scams, that's another thing. People are telling you to invest in Bitcoin or open up crypto accounts, or wanting you to move money to a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is another way that international scammers can move money, because a lot of time with these Bitcoin wallets and these accounts, they're untraceable. So they move money back and forth from different types of scams, different types of people through Bitcoin. So if somebody's asking you to invest in crypto, Bitcoin, or whatever, don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all don't do it. Another way is if gift cards. If somebody's asking you to buy gift cards, that is another way. You buy gift cards, you buy cell phones, they take the gift cards and the cell phones and they sell them. So let's say you buy a $50 gift card and you send it And because now you can buy digital gift cards. You don't have to buy physical gift cards. But let's just say you buy a digital, you buy an Apple card for $50. They can sell that card for 40. So the person buying the card is getting $50 worth of card for $40. So they're getting a discount. But either way, it's your money. So no, people are telling people online that, oh, I need a Steam card. I need a gaming card. I need an Apple card. I'm deployed and don't buy gift cards for people. That's scammers. So don't do it. Talking on when a lot of these scammers, they find people everywhere, y'all. So it could be Facebook dating, it could just be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be email, it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to necessarily just be a dating app. But the dating apps are the most concise way that they find. And they're on all dating apps. Match.com, eHarmony, any dating app. They create fake profiles. They create fake social medias. They steal people's pictures. They steal people's videos. I've seen deep fakes. I've seen double fakes. I've seen people take pictures and animate the pictures and make the mouth move and say whatever. All that technology is out there. A lot of older people don't really know technology has changed. People can do deep fake videos. People can send you videos and it looks like their mouth is talking, but you can tell when the neck or the background is moving with their neck that it's fake. AI is gonna change the game for scammers. I'm gonna do a whole video about that. I've been talking about y'all, but I'm doing my research. AI is going to change the game. It's gonna make everything easier for scammers. Scammers are using AI now. You can get AI pictures of fake women and men and they look like real people. But AI, whenever they get the video technology up, AI is going to change the game. Unfortunately, I mean, it really is. Like, AI is going to make it harder for detection. It's going to make it harder. But they're everywhere. There are people been on Instagram. People got messages from Instagram on Facebook, and it brings me to another point. I tell people, why are y'all Facebook and Instagram pages public? Unless you are selling a business or you're an Instagram model or you're getting paid off of social media, you're an influencer, there's no reason why your Instagram or Facebook should be public. There's no reason why. There's no justification why anybody's social media, your private personal social media, should be public. My Facebook account is private. It's private. I have pictures of my kids. I have pictures of my life. I have pictures of myself. There is no way in the world your social media should be public. Now, I understand when people are older, they don't know about the privacy settings on the account, but I tell people I need you to school yourself on the settings. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It's not that complicated to make your whole thing private. Nobody can look at my pictures and photos and videos unless they're friends with me. And then the only way they can be friends with me, they got to send a request. And when they send a request, if a person I don't know, somebody I don't know, I'll send them a message back saying, how do I know you? Because I will get friends requests on Facebook and I'm like, how do I know you? Or I'll go and look on their profile and see maybe we have mutual friends. They may be relatives. I send them a message. Do I know you? And then sometimes I'll get, oh, well, no, you don't know me. I just saw your profile. Delete, block, move on. I do not add anybody on my personal private social media that I don't know. There's no reason for me to do that. If I want to date, I get online dating. Y'all know that. I have plenty of videos. I have a whole playlist about it. I online date. That's fine. But I don't add people from my online dating apps that I don't know. They don't get access to my social media. No one gets access to my social media. So I would say people don't have your social media to be public. Go private. There are people online, I've read in the comment sections on CatfishedOnline, talking about they get hundreds of requests and messages a day. What? Why? Why would I want to be bothered with that? Are you that bored, that you want to filter through? Because most of these people are scammers. Also, if your Facebook or social media pages are public, people go on there and look through your information to see if you're married, to see if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, see if you says anything about being lonely, see if you have, they'll go in there to see if someone died in your family recently. They will data mine this information off your social media as a way to pull at your heartstrings, as a way to know information about you and reel you in. These scammers are smart. These scammers are working off of scripts. These scammers sometimes are working out of call centers. Like, y'all don't understand. They have whole call centers in India and Dubai and in Nigeria and Ghana, where they have call centers of people where they hire people to set up profiles online, and that's all they do for hours on and in all day. Is they go online and they set up fake profiles and they troll and they have multiple conversations. I've seen it online. Like, you can go look up, call center scammers or romance scammers, call centers. You can look it up. It is amazing. Like, some of these calls, these people are in rings, criminal rings of romance scammers. Most of them are. So don't think it's just their messaging, just you, or it's just this lone wolf guy out here doing this by himself. They usually have a ring of people, like 10 people, I hate to say it, but most of the scammers do come from Ghana and Nigeria. Most of them come from Nigeria, and that's because the laws in Nigeria facilitate this. It is very hard for the United States to catch international scammers. There's laws, there's FCC, there's trade laws, there's all kinds of things that makes them hard to catch a scammer out of the country. When they go on Telegraph and they use these Google Chat and Telegraph, I tell people, don't go on WhatsApp and Telegraph and Google Chat, because these sites are encrypted and they can't pull the messages. So it's hard to prove it in a court of law. It's hard to get criminals in another country over to here. It is a long, hard, arduous process. There are laws in place in Nigeria that they don't take these crimes seriously. They don't prosecute the crime seriously. Living in Nigeria is very tough. I'm not trying to make excuses for these criminals, but it's hard. These people are poor. These people have no jobs. There are scammers out there that put themselves through college on this money, or they come to America and get a visa because they are trying to get out of their country. And so you just have to understand that $50 here may not be a lot, but in the currency of when you're talking about India or Africa or Southeast Asia, $50, $60, $70 is a lot. So people think it's not a lot of money, but to them, because of the currency, I mean, $50, $60 in Nigeria, again, for us, it's not a big deal. For them, because the currency, $50, $60 can keep them, sustain them for a whole month in food. So you got to think these people are desperate. They're like, there's no jobs over here. There's no, and I'm, like I said, I'm not trying to victimize the scammers, but you got to think that people are desperate for money. When you talk about people in China, people in India, like I said, Thailand, that's where most of these scams are coming from. Also, Catfish Online, let me add, Catfish Online is just a microcosm of what really goes on. So Catfish Online, I tell people, don't take this as this is like how all of the scammers, this is just people who decided to be on the show. There are plenty of people out there who are getting scammed, and they're not on this show or any other show or on the news or whatever. There are people being scammed every day. So don't get it twisted. When you watch Catfish Online, please don't get it twisted. Don't think that this is just how this is just like how most of the people in the United States. Again, people are getting catfished worldwide. Let me put that out there, because people think, oh, it's just people in the United States. That's just Catfish Online. There are other websites online talk about people getting scammed. There are people getting scammed in Thailand, the Philippines, Europe, all over. So don't think that they just do people in America or just people who speak English. It's worldwide, y'all. It's not just in one country. So don't think that. People see Catfish Online and other websites, and they see a bunch of older people. It's not just old people getting catfish. I see people writing in comments on Catfish Online on the YouTube channel, and they're talking about, well, these old people are desperate and lonely. Young people get catfished too. It's not just old people. Young people get scammed and catfished online all the time. Young people they may not come forward. It's brave to come forward and admit to file a police report and to get on a show like Catfish saying that this happened to you, because it's embarrassing. A lot of people don't report it because they are embarrassed. They're just embarrassed. Some people don't even tell their family and friends, y'all. Some people are so embarrassed that they don't say anything to their family and friends about them losing money. So I tell people, it's not just old people. It's not just old people. It's not just white people. It's not just people in the United States. I watch things from China. I watch specials from Thailand, from the UK, from France, from Germany. People are getting scammed all over the place. These catfishers, they can speak multiple languages. They can speak French. They can speak German. They can speak English. They have apps and things that they use, Google Translator, in order to facilitate their lives. They pretend to be Asian women, white women, black women, white men, black women, like all kinds of things. They're, most of the time they pretend to be Caucasian men and women, because that's what they feel gets most of the westernized people. Or they feel like most of the people who have money are Caucasians. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound racist, but that's just the truth. They feel like if they be some beautiful, voluptuous blonde from Ukraine, that'll get more attention. And a lot of times it's true, it does. Men versus women. I've read comment sections and heard people say all kinds of things in these comment sections on Catfish Online about men versus women. And a lot of myths that need to be debunked. First of all, a lot of people are like, with the men, there's a lot of older men that get scammed by younger women. The women that they're looking for, they're gorgeous supermodels. They may be 60. The chick may be 25 or 30, maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 years younger than them. People are like, well, that's what they get, the old fool. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. However, and people are like, well, older men are attracted to younger women. I tell people all the time, what you're attracted to and what you think you can get is two different things. I'm attracted to money. I want $1 billion, but it don't mean I'm going to get it. So just because you're an older man or older women do this too, and you're attracted to somebody 25, 30 years old younger than you, and they look like a supermodel, it doesn't, just because I'm attracted to that and I look at that, attraction doesn't equal action. So I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Attraction doesn't equal action. I'm attracted to a lot of things. You may like younger women. You may like younger men. I'm not hating on anyone being attracted to someone younger or whatever. I'm not hating on that. There are a lot of people that hate on that. They said it's weird, it's creepy. Okay. I'm just saying it's a difference between what I'm attracted to. And if some 20-year-old, 25-year-old hot supermodel is sending you a message talking about, hey, how you doing? I think you're the most beautiful woman or the handsomest man on the planet, and you believe this person, and they're really, really hot, it's probably a scam. These people that I've seen on Catfish Online, and it happens in real life too, that these people who are 60, 65 years old, a lot of people on this show, they're average at best. They may be a 5 or 6. And so the people that contact them and they get scammed by take pictures online of people who are models, super, some people are OnlyFans, so many people are adult film stars. Why would you think somebody that looked that good would be interested in you? Again, age has nothing really to do with it in my logic, because I tell people like, well, older men like younger women. I said no, older men like attractive women. Older men. Let me take my glasses off and let me explain it to y'all. Let me break this down for y'all because some of y'all don't really understand. I'm gonna take my glasses off and talk to y'all right now. I'm old. Okay, I'm old. Okay. Most men, most people are average. Most people are average. Okay. You know, most people aren't supermodels. Most people aren't superstars. Now, for people who are millionaires, who have a lot of money, who are really successful, who are famous, athletes, entertainers, they can get younger women. You can take Mick Jagger and Robert De Niro and Trump, and they can get supermodels, Instagram models, strippers, very attractive women because they have power and status. Normal men, average Joe Smo working a job, making $100,000 a year, is not going to get a supermodel looking chick. People are like, oh, but my wife is gorgeous. Oh, my girlfriend looks good. Oh, my husband is this. You're the exception to the rule. I tell people when you next time you go out to a restaurant or you go out to a bar or you go out to a club or wherever you may be, you go out to a grocery store. How many 70-year-old men do you see walking around with 30-year-old, hot 30-year-old women? I'll wait because it doesn't happen. The narrative that gets put out there is you're an old that put out there these days. These days, again, I'm old school. In my day, that narrative wasn't out there. That we all knew that the men who were older who got beautiful women, a lot who were ugly, it was transactional. We understood transactional relationships in my day and age. There are some cultures who still understand transactional relationships. I don't have any issue with transactional relationships. What do I mean by that? If you're 30 years old and you're good looking and you want to date a millionaire and you're a supermodel and he looks like a troll, I don't have any issue with transactional relationship because it is what it is. We understand that 30-year-old Olga, who's from Poland, who's hot, and she's with some 60-year-old dude, we understand why Olga's there. And it's not his winning personality. It's his winning Porsche. So we get that. These days, people don't understand. They've seen and lost the concept of transactional relationships. That's a thing that still exists in a lot of cultures and a lot of places. That 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old average looking men making average salaries is not going to get a hot 25-year-old. Because again, as a woman, I've been 25 before. Did I want an old man? No, not unless he had money. And like I said, the narrative out there isn't spoke on enough because, again, the women who do this, I say they don't come forward enough. Okay, I can tell you as somebody who has dated married men, who have dated. Let me say it for the people in the back. I've dated married men, and I'm telling you right now, not old married men, but I've dated married men, and it was transactional for the most part. I didn't date a married guy because of his winning personality. I dated a married man because he was fun and he was generous. Generous. So we all know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. Generous. Generous. And I tell people like, well, men, don't like older women. They do. Let me straighten out my bangs. They do. Men like beautiful women. You can take a man, like I said, I've dated mostly younger men. I say me personally, I've dated mostly younger men, right? They're at least 6 years younger than me because I like younger men. I don't like 30-year-olds. But I can tell y'all unequivocally from my own personal experience in dealing with men that men like good looking women. It's not the fact that the 25, 30-year-old is a 25, 30-year-old. She's hot. There are 25-year-old, 30-year-old women who are not attractive. That these men that are getting duped out of their money, if she was 25, 30 years old and she looked very average and she was kind of frumpy and overweight, do you think that just because she's 25, 30 years old that they would talk to her? No. The point is, men and women like good-looking people. They do. They like good-looking people. It doesn't matter if you're an old head like me. I'm old, y'all. I'm old. 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 I may not look it, but I take care of myself. But 30-year-old men like me, 50-year-old men like me, 70-year-old men like me. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to flex. I'm just saying that men like good-looking women. I've never had a man be like, "Oh, you're too old." I've had men say I'm too mean, I'm too rude, I'm too political. I've had men say many things, but I ain't never in my entire life on this earth have a man go, you're just too old." I ain't never had a man say that. All I do is bat my eyes and be like, "Hey, my name's Kiki. How are you? How are you today?" I ain't never had no man be like, "No, no, you're just too old." So the notion is just silly. And I laugh every time that people read the comment section and the men are like, "Oh, well, you hit the wall at 28, baby." I'm like, not the 28-year-olds that I know. They're like, "Ooh, you sure are pretty." Ooh, they don't even ask me how old I am. I just bet my eyes. "How are you today?" That's all I would have to do if I had that kind of personality. But I don't. My personality is salty as hell. I'm salty. Okay? Yeah, I'm a bit more like rough around the edges. So, but I'm telling you, if I wanted to attract all kinds of men, I attract all types of men. Like I said, I'm not trying to be vain. I'm not trying to act like not trying to flex and act like I'm all that because I don't think I am. But when it comes to my age, that's the last thing that men ask me. That's the last thing that they ask me. I'm at 25-year-olds and I'm like, you're young enough to be my son, so how that work? I'm not attracted to really, really young dudes. Younger than me, like dudes in their 40s, I can deal with, but I'm not really into older men. I'm not into men in the 60s and 70s. But again, I'm old. I'm old. Like everybody watch my videos, I say it all the time. I'm an old head. I'm old. I'm old. I'm old, y'all. I'm old. And so, I mean, I don't consider myself old, but again, the things that men say in the podcast y'all listen to, men like attractive women, honey. Men don't really care whether you're 30 or 50. They just want you to be hot. They just want you to be sexy. It's how you carry yourself, what you do with yourself. That's what men are attracted to. Men are attracted to women who are fit, who are sexy, who are attractive. Men don't care. Like I said, if you take an average looking, frumpy looking 30-year-old woman and then you drop Jennifer Aniston or Halle Berry or Meg Thee Stallion, I'm like, Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion are in their 30s. So you mean to tell me that a man's gonna turn them down because they're in their 30s and they hit a wall at 28 or 30? Come on now. Come on now. Now, and I understand that not all women can be um Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B or Halle Berry. But there are those of us out here that we are older and we are nice looking women, well put together women. Like they've been blessed and blessed by genetics. I've been blessed by genetics. I mean, I take care of myself. I exercise, I work out, I take care of my skin. Again, this is me with no makeup on. I don't have no makeup on except for some lipstick. That's it. I've been blessed with good skin and great genetics. My mother looked young into her years, and I look young. I would tell people all the time, I'm almost 50. People don't believe it. They're like, "How old are you?" 50. They're like, "What?" Yeah. They're like, "You don't look that old." No filters. This is me, but just me. Fresh faced and me. This is it. I've been blessed with good skin. I work hard I drink a lot of water. I take care of my skin. And it's just genetics. Everybody in my family looks pretty young for our ages. And so male and female. So that's just how it is. So the idea that there are people out here talking about, oh, they want young women. No, men just want good looking women. That's just the truth. And so there are women out here, the same thing for women. They want good looking men. I'm a woman who wants a good looking man. I don't want a man that looks that and I know it sounds shallow to some of y'all. I'm not saying that looks is everything or the only thing, but attraction is a big part of it. So when they get messages from very hot looking young guys that look like a K-pop singer, they're gonna bite. So but when it comes to men and women, they each can be old fools when it comes to online dating. And then also, let me say before I go on to the next topic about men and women, let me tell y'all something else. Um, uh, people talk about loneliness. People talk about, why do people do this? Why do people do this? Why? Well, the narrative is, well, men, they want sexual intimacy, because some of the men in these videos are talking about, well, I have a wife, or I have a girlfriend, or I lost my wife and girlfriend because of whatever. And so there's a lack of we're talking about physically, we're talking about sexy time. So there's a lack of physical intimacy. And so all the men are like, well, men want that gratification. I can say for a fact that as men gets older, their vim and vigor sexually drops, because testosterone levels drops. This is not my opinion. This is just science. So the idea that men are in their 70s and 80s, a lot of men in their 70s and 80s, they still want intimacy. That's a lie. That's a lie. I don't know who is on the internet telling y'all this lie, that these men are virile. They're not. They're not. It happens with age. Again, you have a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds doing podcasts and telling men online that, oh, well, men, they just want sex all the time. Yeah, maybe in your 20s and 30s, but once you get to be your 60s, your 50s and 60s, age catches up with you. That's just what it is, men. It's just what it is. Your testosterone levels may drop. Depends on what you're eating. Depends if you're working out, if you're eating right. Are you smoking? Are you drinking? All of those things go into the fact of health, not just regular health, but vascular health, which has to do with your friend down there. So when I tell people, I know from experience, I know dealing with men that are in their 40s, that once you start hitting your 40s, you talk about women hitting a brick wall. Men, their libido drops in their later years. Like I said, not all men. There's always exception, but a higher percentage enough of men, look it up, that as they get older, your testosterone levels, your testosterone drives libido. So the things that people are saying online are not even scientific. That all men are all suddenly like raging hormones. That happens more with women. Women, our estrogen levels does drop. That does affect our drive, our libido. But as we get older, women, our libido doesn't drop as much as men can. Men, their testosterone levels drop significantly based on just individual age, weight gain. That's why men have like a dad bod and a beer belly, because chemically speaking and physiologically speaking, your body changes as you get older. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Your body degrades, your body changes, men and women. So the idea that men are 70 years old and they still want to roll around in bed, not all men. Some men, their libido tanks. Some men, it stays kind of like even, it stays the same. But for a lot of men, especially ones who are not fit, it tanks. Also about libido, I said, just because you want it, it doesn't mean you're not one and done. There are plenty of men out there who are like, oh, I really want the physical, and I really want this and this, and then they one and done, and then they can't eat, they can't get it up. They don't have the longevity that they have. They don't have the level of enjoyment that they have. Like, just because you want intimacy, it doesn't mean that you're going to be good at it, or it's going to be fulfilling for you or your partner. So I said, that's another thing. This myth of this virile men running around as they get older, it's not true. Like, ladies, don't believe it. It's a lie. It is a lie. There's a reason why the blue pill is popular, or Viagra is popular, because it is harder as men get older for them to keep up their libido. Okay. So if you're a 70-year-old man and you want a 30-year-old woman, I promise you that 30-year-old woman 9 times out of 10 is going to be finding fulfillment somewhere else. That she's cheating. She's finding fulfillment somewhere else. That she gets bored in 6 months to a year, and then they get their money and they're done with it, or the person passes away and they're moved on. Again, there's not many 60, 70-year-old men that can keep up with a 30-year-old women, not only emotionally and mentally, but physically. It just doesn't happen. It's just, and vice versa. It's just being a woman, you get older, you can't really keep up with having a 30-year-old woman. Like I said, there's always exceptions to the rule. People are always forever bringing up exceptions. Well, I knew this one person. Okay, that's one person. The statistics do not bear out that. The statistics, national average in the United States, I can't speak for the world, but in the United States saying that, first of all, there's some myths. Number one, most old people are with old people. Most 70-year-old men, whether they get remarried or whether they've been married a long time, most men and women who are over the age of 50 are with people within 5 to 7 years younger or older than them. There are not a bunch of 60, 70-year-old men dating 30-year-olds. It doesn't happen. I know people want it to happen. I know people pushing that narrative, but it doesn't happen. Just like when I talk about interracial relationships. Most people are not in interracial relationships. I don't care what you see in commercials. I don't care what you see on TV. I don't care what you see in video. I don't care what you see on YouTube. I don't care. In the United States, most people date within their race. Interracial couples has gone up a little bit, but when it comes to interracial couples, for the most part, it's not like most people are marrying their own race. Most people are marrying people within 5 to 7 years of their age. There are not a bunch of 70-year-olds with a bunch of hot 20-year-olds. There are not a bunch of 70-year-old women dating 40-year-old men. I understand that you may know your uncles, cousins, sisters, brothers, co-workers, friends. I understand that. It does happen. But statistically speaking, for the national average, most people are married to people their age. Even if people become widowed, become divorced, there are people marrying. I understand there's a generation of older people out there that doesn't really understand because they've been married for a long time and they may have recently became widowed or divorced and they don't understand what goes on. But again, I believe in facts over feelings or anecdotal evidence, or I think, or I heard, or this is the narrative that's on social media. There's a lot of narratives on social media. Again, I said before, that is just BS. There's a lot of generalizations that people make videos about, that women are doing this and men are doing this and men are don't like this and women don't like this and women don't like that. Women who? Men who? Which woman? Which man? There are people out there where old men don't want older women. They do, because that's who they're dating. There are a bunch of people that are marrying over the age of 55, more than it has been within the past 10 to 15 years. So I tell people that you can find love and marriage over the age of 55. People are like, oh, well, you just got to be alone. Maybe 20 years ago, but with the internet and social media, the numbers keep going up every couple of years. More and more people are meeting and marrying over the age of 55. And guess who they're marrying? People their age. Most people are married to people in their age range in their group. When it comes to money, most people in the United States are married within their own socioeconomic group. There are not a bunch of 7-year-olds marrying 30-year-old hot in Instagram model gold diggers. It doesn't happen. Most people marry people within their own race, their own age range, their own location, and their own socioeconomic group. So I don't care what anybody is telling you. Well, when women want men who make 6 figures, and the women who want men who make 6 figures is because there are women who are making 6 figures. There are not a lot of broke, uneducated women marrying men making 6 figures. I know some of y'all are sitting there watching these passport bros and these red pill people that are telling you that all women want rich men. That's because they're rich. That's because they upper mobile women. Most time women want men who make around the same amount of money that they do, maybe a little bit more. There are not a bunch of women working at Walmart making $35,000 a year that are married to lawyers making $80,000 a year. It doesn't happen. I'm a woman that makes good money. I want a man that makes good money. Period. Why would I want to be with a man that made $40,000 less than I do? So the narrative out there is that women want these men to make a lot of money. No, a lot of women want men to make around the same amount of money that they do, a little bit more. There's not women making $40,000 a year that are looking to be with a man making $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year. That's the statistics don't bear that out. So again, when you're talking about dating, online dating, and any kind of romance thing, I tell people, go look at this. Please go look at the data. There's plenty of data out there regarding relationships, marriages, and demographics and locations and regions in the United States. And the narratives that are being pushed out there are so ridiculous and so stupid that I'm just like, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Every day I'm reading comments going, that's not true. That's not right. Because the statistics just does not bear that. It does not bear that. So people may push that narrative online and people may say whatever they want to say. But when it comes to the data, it does not bear that out. So men and women, it doesn't bear that out. When they talk about, well, these men out here are going online and falling for these scams because I've heard the narrative, well, women are looking for love and men are looking for sex. But if you are dating someone that you've never seen in 4 years, that you've never had a conversation with as a man, so you mean to tell me it's about sex? I have had this conversation with men, and I'm like, there are men out there who are like, I want sex, I want sex, I want sex, 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 sex. My wife doesn't give me sex. My longtime girlfriend doesn't give me sex, 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 sex. But I promise you, that's a little bit of it. Men want, when people talk about intimacy, men want intimacy as well. So when you talk about these men getting scammed and they talking these women for years and they saying they're $100,000, are they getting sex? Are they getting sex? Well, men just want sex. No, they don't. If men just wanted sex, why would they spend 4 years talking to a scammer? Why would they send her money? Why would they be like, oh, I'm in love with this person, if men just wanted sex? Why would they waste their time, months, weeks, years, with somebody that they've never even seen? 9 times out of 10, they never even talked to, if they just want sex. Again, for someone who's been on Ashley Madison, for someone who's been a mistress, for someone who has talked to married men, dated married men, I can tell you that sex is just part of the equation. And don't let people tell you any different. That sex is part of the equation. Men may say they want sex, that narrative is being pushed out there, but at the end of the day, men want love and intimacy just like women do. These men, when you go to Catfish Online and you watch these videos, and these men talk about, oh, this woman's so hot, she's so beautiful. Yes, men are much more visual and physical creatures. They are. They've been socialized that way. It's not genetic. It's socialization. It's cultural. Socialization is patriarchy, misogyny, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, these people online talking about, well, they just want sex and they're not getting sex. They're not even meeting this person. They're not meeting this scammer. So don't tell me it's about sex, because it's not. Even if the man said they're sexually attracted, they're in lust, it's about attention, it's about love, it's about intimacy. The way men express it is just different than what we women. Women like romance and the fairy tale, but men like the fairy tale as well. Nobody can, after watching these shows and seeing people getting scammed and hearing about it on Reddit, nobody can convince Miss Kiki that men don't want intimacy and love and relationships as women do. But the society tells them, oh, it's about getting laid. It's about, these men are not getting laid. They're getting laid where? They're not. So why do they stay around? Why would you spend the money on somebody that you're not getting no intimacy about? So again, people can pretend that it's about sex all day long. People can tell you that men just want sex, and men that you can be, as long as you sleep with them, they'll be okay. Men are simple. Men are not simple. Men are complicated, just as complicated as women. Men are just emotional as women. They've just been socialized, and the way they express it is just different. So again, when you talk about online scammers and these men are being scammed, they are not getting love. I mean, they're not getting no dates. They're not getting no hand jobs. They're not getting no top. They're not getting nothing. They may get some naked pictures and some fake naked pictures. They may be having discussions about, ooh, daddy, you know, look, come over here and do this to me and smack it around a little bit. But when it comes to the physical intimacy, putting their peen in a hole, they're not getting that. Talking to some scammer online. So don't tell me that men just want sex and this is about sex. Some of these men about ready to leave their wives. And you think it's about sex? Don't be naive. Don't be naive. So I tell women all the time, don't be naive. Well, one man was like, oh, I haven't had sex with my wife in years because she's sick or whatever. Oh, he talked to the same chick for 2-3 years. Texting her. Never talked to her over the phone. Never saw her. You mean to tell me that that's just about the fact that your wife hasn't given you any? That's a deeper psychological need. So again, I need y'all to debunk this, that women are just in for fantasy and romance, and men don't like it too. Men like it too. Men like it too. Men like the fantasy. They like the romance. They like the attention. They're lonely. Again, as somebody who's been on Ashley Madison and who's talked to married men, they're all talking about the physical and the steamy in the beginning, but eventually they're like, after all that goes away, because eventually it does go away, guess what the men want to talk about? Their day. My wife ignores me. My wife don't talk to me. I like talking to you because you're there and you're attentive. The same ish that the women fall for. People like, they're lonely, desperate people who want attention, who want someone that seems sincere. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, because they both fall for it. So I have to say that. And then, like I said, talking about worldwide versus America, there's scammers everywhere. It doesn't just have to happen in the United States. The accents. The other thing that drives me crazy is the accents. I've seen so many videos where women are like, oh, well, I talked to him and he sounds like he has a New York accent or a European accent. A European accent? WTF is a European accent. Europe is many countries. There's a difference between Germany and France and Dutch. But again, Americans are ignorant. I can't sit there and say, as an American, with all subtlety, and no offense, but offense, Americans are dumb. We are not world traveled. We people are like, how can you live in America and not know a different African accent? Because again, there are people who live in areas where there are no Africans. It's not like I live in Texas. I don't live around a lot of Africans. I don't come in contact with a lot of immigrants, African immigrants. I can detect a Spanish accent. I can detect any accent, to be honest with you, because I'm diverse. But people in America are not multicultural. Like, people got to understand, people in America are very isolated. People in America are very segregated racially, regionally, and everything like that. People think America is just like this big, like America looks like New York. It doesn't. A lot of these people come from Midwestern cities and small towns. A lot of these people have never met someone of another race, much less another culture or another language. So again, people in America are ignorant for the most part. Again, I am trying to be offensive. I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm speaking truth. I'm speaking facts. People in America don't know the difference between, a lot of time, between the French accent and the German accent. or African accent. I can watch these shows and automatically pick up on African accent because, again, I know Africans. I've been around people from Ghana, people Nigerian. I don't know how people thinking these accents are Dutch or French or English, or I don't know, because they don't, they're ignorant. They don't know any better. So that's the difference. People in America are just ignorant. People in America do not travel. People were shocked that like 50% of America don't own a passport. Why would we? It's expensive to go from America to anywhere else. It's expensive to travel. It's not like Europe where you can go from France to Germany to Poland. You can just hop on a train and go there. It's cheaper to travel in Europe than it is in America. America, it's really expensive for us to get on a plane. The flights between here and Europe or some other place is like 8, 10 hour, more hour flight. So it's expensive for Americans to travel here. So most Americans don't travel outside the United States if they travel at all. So Americans are not hip to other cultures. We are a very insulated, insular society. Even though we have a lot of immigrants here, there are enclaves of immigrants that people don't rub up against either on purpose or just because of sheer ignorance. So, you know. And then, like I said, the thing I'm going to speak on at the end is talk about the relationship with money. There are some myths, okay? Let me go back to the myths. There are people who are like, oh, this could happen to anybody. I've heard that. What else have I heard? This only happens to older people. Younger people get scammed too, y'all. Younger people get scammed. Just because you watch online and it's a bunch of old people on this show, on Catfish Online, but younger people get scammed as well. I know men and women who've been scammed. Another myth is it's a bunch of women that get scammed. Statistically, the FBI statistics in America, like 53% of people get scammed are women. And those are the people who admit it. I have a theory, my anecdotal theory is that there are many more men who get scammed, but men don't talk about it as much as women do. Women get scammed, we want to tell everybody. We want to tell our family, our friends, our cousins. Men get scammed. I know men who have been scammed online, and they didn't tell anybody. They told me about it, and they told a few other people, but they didn't report it to the FBI. So the FBI numbers are just for the people who actually report it, you know. And yes, like I think 52 to 55% are women, but I promise you, men get scammed just as much as women do. So I've read that narrative in comments that women get scammed more. That's not true. Men get scammed. Or it's just that people over 50 or 60, that's not true. Young people get scammed as well. And like I said, it just depends on who talks about it. You know, a lot of times with the older people with Catfish Online, they have their children or brothers and sisters or relatives, nieces and nephews and grandkids calling the show or emailing the show and saying, my granny or my dad or my mom needs help. That's what happens. But if these people didn't have relatives to contact this show and convince them to be on the show, then it would go unreported. When you're a young person and your kids are young and your parents don't really know about Catfish Online, and you know, so a lot of young people, you know, they may not be represented on the show. But I here to tell you that young people do get catfished. They do get scammed all the time. I've seen it in Reddit groups. I've had friends who have talked to people that try to get money out of them, and they just went about their way. And some of them didn't give the money. Some of them did. Men and women who are young people get taken for a ride as well. So please don't think it's just the elderly. And also don't think it's just everybody. People are like, well, this could happen to anybody. If you're lonely and bored and old enough, and that's not true. We need to talk about people's relationship with money. Okay. I'm going to say something very controversial that y'all are not going to like, but I'm going to say this out of love. I think I have a theory. You know, I can only talk about America because I'm American. I think the reason why you see a lot of white people on this show is because I feel like, I think it's cultural. I really feel, and I can't prove, well, I can prove it because statistics bear it out, that more people who get victim of scammers are Caucasian. Okay. I feel like it's that way because I think Black people, we have a different relationship with money. then a lot of times that our Caucasian brothers and sisters have a relationship with money. We deal with money a lot differently um, than Caucasian people. I think it's cultural. I think it's the same thing that applies to Asians and Indians. And like I said, Asians and Indians, they fall victim to these scams as well. But with Asians, a lot of times they get scammed by other Asians. Like it's always an Asian woman or an Asian man. And usually it's a bit like what I've seen in my research, it's a bit more realistic. So you don't have 50, 60-year-old Asian men being scammed by 30-year-old hot Instagram looking model Asian women. A lot of times, and same thing with the Asian women. A lot of Asian women that are getting scammed are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. They're not really elderly. And then a lot of times the people that they're getting scammed by are their age. They're in their 30s and 40s and 50s as well. I don't see a lot of Asian women that are like enthralled by a 20, 30-year-old dude and they're like 60. I don't really see that in the Asian community. Y'all may correct me if I'm wrong, but I watched a lot of videos about Asian scammers, and a lot of the women are divorcees, a lot of the women are widowed, a lot of the women are divorced. And so they're looking for someone to get remarried to. And so I just don't see a lot of 50, 40, 50-year-old Asian women talking to 25-year-old Asian men. I see them wanting someone mature. A lot of these Asian women are talking to men are a little bit older because they're looking for somebody more stable and mature. So it's a difference in culture. But I see, and not saying that Asian men are not attracted to younger women, because they are. I mean, I'm not saying they're not attracted to that or they wouldn't fall for that. But culturally speaking, I just see that there's a difference. I see a difference because I see that in America, like back to America, that the scams here are really targeted towards Caucasian people. Because like I said, people in Africa just assume that all white people got money. I've heard people say that they don't really target black people because they figure that black people, and then just culturally, black people, I know we don't really give up our money. Like I'm just gonna come out and say it. Black folks are more like, okay, you want money for what now? Like we won't even give money to our relative. Like it's just, to me, it's a cultural difference the way we deal with money than the way white people deal with a lot of Caucasians deal with money. So when people talk about this can happen to anybody, I'm like, yeah, technically speaking, it can. But I think cultural differences play a big picture in this. And how you feel about money. I grew up in a household, in a neighborhood. I grew up in the hood, and I grew up feeling like my money is my money. Like I'm not, and then so many people on this show, are black, and so many people that have a big heart, and they like, oh, I just want to help somebody. I think, a notion for a lot of people in certain cultures is that they want to help people and save people. And then I think some cultures are like, eh. So I think the crypto and the investment scams really work hard in Asia, because people feel like they're going to get their money back. They're going to get their money back in interest. So I see a lot of crypto and investment scams in Asia. Like it's still romance, but it's somebody telling you to invest in certain stocks and options and accounts to gain more money. My anecdotal evidence, I did not see a lot of women and men in Asia having people approach them saying, oh, I lost my wallet, or oh, my mom's sick, or oh, my daughter's sick, and da-da-da-da. I didn't see a lot of that in Asia, because I think for most people that are in Asia and India and those cultures, they're going to ask like, okay, where's your family at? Where's your people at? Because in a lot of those cultures, it's just a cultural difference. The same thing I feel like in African American cultures. I think when it comes to money, that whenever we're having hard times, that we ask our families. Like I would go to my relatives. I wouldn't go to somebody online. I think in certain cultures where it's much more individualistic, or they don't have relationships with their family or their kids, then I think it makes much more sense that a person is asking them for help. And like I said, my take may be very controversial, but that's just how I feel. I just feel like as Black people, when we fall on hard times, we turn to family. That a lot of people are not like, okay, I'm turning to my boyfriend or girlfriend for money. Not unless y'all living together or y'all married or something like that. But somebody online that I've never met, I don't see a lot of black people that are like, oh, well, I'm gonna give this person money that I never met. Like I said, it does happen. I'm not saying it happened, but I'm just saying percentage wise, when I look at the FBI statistics on scamming and the statistics internet wide in the United States, most of the victims are Caucasian. Again, because they're targeted more. And then we just have a different relationship with money. I just think there's black people, we just have a different relationship with money. We are like, I'm not gonna give my money to you. I want to give my money to my own mama. But I think a lot of these, especially older Caucasian people, like they think is like, oh, I want to help somebody, and oh, I feel like this person, and you're in a relationship with this person. But again, I don't have a problem with fantasy. Well, I do. I mean, I do. But I don't have a problem with somebody talking to somebody and the person's not real. That's horrible enough. But where I draw the line is the money that I don't under. That's the thing I can conclude y'all with. I don't understand the money situation. That's where I'm like, you can have a fantasy fake boyfriend online or a fake girlfriend. Okay, I wouldn't do it. I'm not that lonely. But I can't understand me sending this person money and me thinking it's okay. Again, if somebody's been in a myriad of relationship who's been married, I, I, I'm like, I wouldn't even really trust my husband with $3,000. May his soul rest in peace. But I was like, I'm gonna give my husband $3,000, $4,000 for what? Like I just my relationship, these people's relationship with money is so crazy to me that I don't understand it. So I'm thinking, have they been in other relationships and other marriages where they freely gave money to? That's the question I want to ask these people. Were they in other relationships where they freely gave money to the person that they were with? Because if not, then that's really bizarre. But if they're used to having relationships where they're giving somebody else money, they've had other real relationships where they've shared money and break bread with people, then that would be more understandable. But I cannot understand me being so lonely that I'm going to give somebody some money. And then a lot of times I think, very conspiratorial and sinister, that I just feel like sometimes these people, how can I put it? Sometimes I feel like these people are flexing, that they want to feel like that they're important by having money. Oh, this person needs me and I have this money. And I think sometimes I think it's a flex. Do y'all think it's a flex? I sometimes feel it's a flex. So I just feel like sometimes these people use money as a way of keeping a person, being with the person, lording over that person. I think sometimes money is a flex. They feel like I have the money, so if I give money to this person, it makes them feel better that they're helping the person and that they're so prosperous and they've saved this money or they make a good income. And sometimes I think it's a flex. And so sometimes I think it's a way to keep a person in a flex. So I don't know, but you have people willing to leave their husbands and wives to be with somebody. Um, and then sometimes I think these people are lying. There's been evidence that people have been compulsively, you know, wow, I'm reading this thing that's saying that this dude left these people a message about his wife and saying that she was a compulsive liar and that he wanted to get a divorce because she's a liar. So some of these people, we just got to take it for the grain of salt on this show, because some of these people, they lying. They lying. And so, you know, so some of these people, I just take what they say. We have to take it as face value, but we don't know what really goes on in these people's lives. And some of these people are a compulsive liar. So, that you don't know really what they're telling the truth. And do they really know that this person is fake or not? And so, and it's like I said, some of these people are mentally ill. Some of these people just want to live in a fantasy. So you really know what you're going to get on these shows unless you personally know these people. But all I can say is that it doesn't happen to everybody. It doesn't. Like there's people out there that have really weird notions about money and generosity. And like I said, I don't break bread with nobody. I was married. I've been married. I've been in tons of relationships. If a guy, I've had guys ask me for money. I very rarely and few and far between, but the dudes ask me for money. I'm like, no, I don't have it. And so if you don't want to talk to me anymore because I can't give you any money, then chuck the dudes. It's about loneliness. It's about self-love. It's about trauma. It's about people feeling the need that they have to be in a relationship because maybe they've been in a long-term marriage or relationship. And so in conclusion, I do have to say to people out there whose family members, friends, or maybe yourself in this situation, I would just have to say that a relationship is not a mandate. I've said this over and over again. I'm going to get on a t-shirt. I'm going to get a t-shirt that says relationship is not a mandate. I have to, all honestly, y'all, it's not a mandate. I understand it. Well, people need touch and people need human interaction. I get it. But a relationship is not a mandate, which basically means you are not entitled to a relationship. There are people out there who just feel like I'm entitled to a relationship. I'm okay looking. I'm a great person, or they think they're good people. Then they may be. They may have a good career. They may have a good head on their shoulders. They may be nice people. They may be good parents. You may be an awesome person. But again, we bought into this notion in this country. I can't speak for other countries that there's a person for everybody out there. I'm here to tell you there's not. Oh, you're going to find the one. People tell you this stuff to comfort you, to make you feel good, to make you feel better. I'm here to tell you, you may not. You may live your entire rest of your life without a partner. And you have to be okay with that. And it sounds harsh and it sounds cruel because, again, it takes a lot of work to find a partner. And so a lot of these people online that I see, men and women, it just seems like they just sit online all day. That's all they do. So it keeps them from going out and socializing and actually meeting someone, period. Even on a dating app. A lot of these people become fixated and become addicted to this person calling you and texting you. It becomes like a drug to them. It's like an addiction. They have to talk to this person. They have to feel loved and cared and hear this person say all these sweet things to them because it becomes like it's stroking their brain, their endorphins. It's a high to them. They like the drama. They like deep down inside. They may not admit it, but they do. You know what I'm saying? And they like the way it feels. And then so many people talking about they talking to famous people and they don't do no research. They don't Google check. They don't Google search because deep down inside they know that this person is fake, but they like the fantasy. So these people know I kind of don't feel sorry for them because they know it's fake. They know damn well that Johnny Depp or Orlando Bloom or some supermodel is not going to be interested in them. They understand that, but they like the idea of it and they convince themselves. And the conversations they even having with these people is not even in-depth conversations. Hey, baby, honey, sweetie, have you eaten today? Yeah, I like you. It's not even, I'm like, I'm in the wrong line of work, y'all. I was like, I should be finessing these dudes because I'm actually a real person. I'm a real girl. So I'm like, dang, I should be, but then I can't even deal with people long enough to even try to finesse nobody. So I can't be scamming people. But I'm like, damn, I'm in the wrong line of work. I should be finessing these people. I'm real. I'm not fake. But again, people want to believe what they want to believe. It's just a little kindness and a little niceness. Oh, you're the most beautiful person. You're so beautiful. You're so handsome. Oh, you're so witty. Oh, you're so smart. And people are like, oh my God, I am so in love. Oh my God, this person's so wonderful. Oh my God, this person treated me so good. Honey, they said a bunch of generic responses that a 10-year-old could make up or a chat GPT can make up. And they fall all in love with it. So I tell people, be okay being with yourself and being single and being alone. You have to surround yourself by people or just change your mindset. It may be hard at first when you get out of a relationship or anything. It may be hard, but it can be doable and done. But there are some people out there that just feel like they just can't be alone. They like, I don't want to be alone. I want to be alone. Or they've been alone for a long time but they don't want to put any real effort into not being alone. You know what I'm saying? There's options for you. Again, if you're going to spend that much money, the options, I have to say, the options. Again, there are mail order brides, websites online where you can find a bride from an Eastern European country and they're college educated and they're bilingual and they're attractive and they're looking to come to the United States. And yes, it may be semi-transactional, but you can talk to this person, get to know this person. Mail order brides has been a thing for decades. I mean, for almost probably damn near 100 years. So it's a thing. It's a thing. It's legal. It's not solicitation. It's nothing like that. It's really international websites that bring brides to your country. So if you're that lonely and that, hard up and you really want somebody, you actually get to be with the person. You're not talking to a person and sending them text messages and listening to some weird African voice or some really deep fake videos. Like this person is really you get to be with this person. That's an option. There are escorts out there. When I say escorts, it's legal. Being an escort is legal as long as there's no intimacy involved. So for less than people spending 100,000, 10,000, half a million, you can really be with somebody. You can have somebody for events. You can have somebody you can pay somebody for dates. Being an escort is a real thing. Male, female, gay, straight, whatever. It's you can have a good looking man or woman on your arm, pay per hour, and have companionship. Like I said, it's not a intimacy thing. It's companionship. You're paying for companionship. If you're going to spend $80,000, $90,000 for somebody over the phone that you're not touching, that you're not interacting with, that you're not going on a date on, I would rather spend money for an escort. At least this is a real person, and a real person telling you what you want to hear, because the person online is fake. They're not real. But like again, people want the fantasy to believe that this person is really caring about them and liking it. And some of these people don't get it. But I tell people there's options for ways for you to spend your money. Go on vacations. There are love vacations, trips. Again, I'm not advocating anything illegal, but there are options for people who are lonely. It just takes a little bit of effort and money. If you're going to spend that much money on some faker in Nigeria, I would think you would want to spend money on a real person in America. They may live in another state, it may be in New York, but I would think that you would want to spend money on a real date with a real person, with a real guy or a woman. So those are your options for you. And I need people to utilize their options. Go on vacation. Like I tell people, there's sex tourism. And I don't mean like, anything illegal where, but there is a sex tourism where you can go to clubs, you can go all kinds of places in different countries legally that you can spend your money on and have a good time, and then go back once a year. You don't have to waste your money on some Nigerian scammer who's trying to put himself through college and fund his family and lying to you. Like, just to believe me, like, hey, I look like this. I'm not cute. I'm not attractive. So I'm going to find me someone cute and attractive. It's going to be purely transactional. Be real with yourself. A lot of times people don't want to be honest and be real with themselves, and realizing that what they're looking for sometimes has to be transactional. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, so you leave the delusions alone. So that's my video talking about Catfish Online, talking about the things that I've learned. What do you think? Do you watch this channel? The videos are incredulous. If you have not watched it, please watch it. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. Everybody's going to watch this on the rewatch. I appreciate it. Love during lockup. I'm going to do a live of Love During Lockup probably tomorrow because I'm tired. But anyway, y'all, make sure you like, share, subscribe, thumbs up the video, make room in the comments. And until next time, folks, please don't let scammers scam you. Bye.